Ladies and gentlemen, Russia and Ukraine have fought for 1.5 months. These days, the whole world were deeply concerned with this war. And many international strategists already predict that Taiwan will be next Ukraine. Of course, many Taiwanese people worry a lot for this war because there are too many similarities between Ukraine and Taiwan. President Tsai Ying-Wen sensed that Taiwanese people's confidence was seriously shaken by this war, and so she announced in the press conference that Taiwan is different from Ukraine, and thus Taiwanese people don't have to worry too much. But President Tsai did not elaborate the differences between Taiwan and Ukraine in her announcement. So her words did not comfort Taiwanese people. Instead, her words caused even worse anxiety in Taiwan society because President Tsai was unable to explain the differences between Taiwan and Ukraine, and this already indirectly proves that Taiwan and Ukraine are so much alike. I think at this moment I should stand up and explain for President Tsai the differences between Taiwan and Ukraine. As follows, I put forward 4 differences between Taiwan and Ukraine. The first difference is the difference of international position. Ukraine has been an independent country recognized by the whole international society for more than 30 years. So Russia's military action to Ukraine was clearly defined as invasion by the international society. And Taiwan has never been recognized by international society as a sovereign state. So if mainland China launched the military action to Taiwan, her action will be considered a civil war instead of invasion. So this difference of international position is based on international law, and for the same reason, the international society will not be able to denounce mainland China's unifying Taiwan by force at the same level as they denounced Russia's invasion today. And neither can the international society provide the same level of protection to Taiwan as they provide for Ukraine, because they cannot justify their protection at the same level for Taiwan and Ukraine. The second difference is the difference of strength compared to their rivals. The strength comparison proves that Ukraine compared to Russia is much stronger than Taiwan compared to China. Now let's take a look at the strength comparison between Ukraine and Russia. The ratio of territory is 1 to 30. The ratio of population is 1 to 3.5, and the ratio of GDP is 1 to 4. Then let's take a look at the strength comparison between Taiwan and China. The ratio of territory is 1 to 270. The ratio of population is 1 to 60. And the ratio of GDP is 1 to 25. Russia's invasion has caused more than 3 million Ukrainian refugees escape to European countries. Tomorrow, when China unified Taiwan by force, Taiwanese people will have no place to go but jump into the Pacific Ocean. The third difference, the difference of military technology and industries. The whole world knows that Soviet Russia's military strength was compatible with the United States, and Ukraine was the most important place for Soviet Russia's military technology and industries. Almost all most powerful and advanced weapons of Soviet Russia were designed and manufactured in Ukraine, from missiles and jet fighters in the air to tanks and cannons on the ground, and the battleships and submarines in the ocean are all produced in Ukraine. So Ukraine is undoubtedly the strongest and most concentrated place for the military technology and industries. Now let's take a look at Taiwan's national defense strength. Actually, Taiwan's national defense ranked 22nd in the international society, which is not bad at all. But this is still no comparison to Ukraine. Especially Taiwan is not capable in developing or manufacturing any advanced weapon. So Taiwan is not compatible to Ukraine in military technology and industries. And the fourth difference is the difference of leadership. And truly, I think this is the biggest difference between Taiwan and Ukraine. We did not see any sign that President Zelensky planning to flee throughout the war between Russia and Ukraine. Even when United States government announced the plan to help Zelensky to escape, but the plan was rejected by Zelensky. And we believe the reason why Ukrainians fight so hard with incredible courage is because their president stay with them no matter life or death. But President Tsai Ying-Wen of Taiwan practiced her fleeing plan for more than 10 times as the first military exercise after the inauguration for her first term. So President Tsai planned and practiced her fleeing before seeing any sign of China's threat to unify Taiwan by force. So when it comes to the time that China really launches the military action to unify Taiwan, will Taiwanese people have determination to resist China's Liberation Army? I really doubt it. Since the chief commander already flee out of Taiwan, what will Taiwanese people fight for? I have to remind my country fellows, when United States government helped Tsai Ing-wen flee to the United States and help her to establish Taiwan government in exile, United States government will render Taiwan's foreign exchange reserves, which is worth $50 million to Tsai Ing-wen. And of course, Tsai Ing-wen will use this huge amount of money under the instructions of United States government. So, United States government can gobble down these $50 million in the name of helping Tsai Ing-wen establish Taiwan government in exile. The above-mentioned 4 differences between Taiwan and Ukraine clearly prove that Ukraine is much stronger than Taiwan in all 4 respects. This is reality, not imagination. So we welcome pro-Taiwanese independence people for open debates. After discussing 4 differences between Taiwan and Ukraine, now let's talk about the similarities between Taiwan and Ukraine. Though their similarities are so clear, but President Tsai Ying-Wen tried hard to deny them. Now I would like to use a parallel to illustrate the similarities between Taiwan and Ukraine. I think Taiwan and Ukraine are like 2 starlets recruited by a big movie producer to play the same role in the movie. But this movie has 2 versions. One is European version, and the other one is Asian version. So Ukraine is chosen to play in the European version, and Taiwan is chosen to play in the Asian version. Of course, United States is the big movie producer of this movie. And the name of this movie is Mr. Nice Guy in the Village. And beside movie producer, United States also served as the director of this movie, and United States even played the hero of this movie, Mr. Nice Guy. There's also a big muscle man living in the village, and this muscle man has a relative who is very skinny and lives next door to the big muscle man. This skinny relative never has great success in his life, but he still poses like an influential guy in the village. The big muscle man never showed off with aggressive attitude in front of the Mr. Nice Guy because he knows that Mr. Nice Guy is much more powerful and influential than he is in the village. But Mr. Nice Guy never liked this big muscle man because his existence in the village already break Mr. Nice Guy's monopoly of the interest of the whole village. So Mr. Nice Guy has planned for years to either kick the big muscle man out of the village or at least discipline him to make him an obedient servant. So Mr. Nice Guy keeps instigating that skinny relative to provoke the big muscle man. Finally, the big muscle man got so angry and beat this skinny relative ferociously. At this moment, Mr. Nice Guy jumps out and shouts to the muscle man, "Hey, you should not bully in the village." And then he poses like the mediator trying to reconcile the conflict. The skinny relative asked Mr. Nice Guy, "How come you come out to be the mediator? Because you told me earlier, if the muscle guy beats me, you will get your people out to beat him to the ground, huh?" But Mr. Nice Guy replied, "Oh, no, we are civilized people. We don't fight with people, huh? Because fighting never resolves the problem. Only talks resolve the problem." But while Mr. Nice Guy was talking, his friends were making the video recording of this big muscle man's ferocious beating. And later on, Mr. Nice Guy showed the video recording to the whole village and proposed to the whole village that we should kick this bully out the village because we should not tolerate bully in our village. So in the European version of this movie, Russia acts as the big muscle man, and Ukraine acts as the skinny relative. And in the Asian version of this movie, China acts as the big muscle man, and Taiwan acts as the skinny relative. But United States acts as Mr. Nice Guy in both European version and Asian version. So far, the filming of European version of this movie is nearly completed. But the Asian version is filmed to the stage that China almost, but not yet, launches the attack. And at this moment, Taiwan is already so scared and not able to continue filming. So United States sent several high-level officials to visit Taiwan and assure Taiwanese people that United States' promise to protect Taiwan is as solid as piece of rock. But is United States' promise reliable? No. I think anybody who have reviewed the last 60 years of world history would have known that this movie is not the new drama. It is an old drama with some minor changes of script and background, and this same old drama has been played again and again, and every time there's an ally of United States chosen to act as that skinny relative. And these betrayed allies are Korea, Vietnam, Taiwan, Afghanistan, and Ukraine. Especially, this is not the first time for Taiwan to be sold, because Taiwan was sold by United States for the first time 50 years ago. The war between Russia and Ukraine has been going for 1.5 months, but all NATO countries stand aside and become spectators. So President Tsai Ying-Wen and the Minister of Taiwan's National Defense, General Chiu Kuo-zhen, both announced that we cannot rely on others to protect Taiwan. We have to defend ourselves with determination. We all know this is no doubt the correct conclusion. But we want to ask President Tsai Ing-wen, if United States would not protect Taiwan with their soldiers and weapons, then why do we import beef and pork with direct-over permit from United States? Do we eat their poisoned beef and pork for nothing? Besides, the Prime Minister of Taiwan, Su Zhenchang, claimed his determination to protect Taiwan. He said when Liberation Army attacked Taiwan, he will get anything he can, even a broom, to fight back. Today I want to speak to our Prime Minister. I will prepare a broom too. But my broom is not to fight against the Liberation Army, because a broom is useless to fight bombs or missiles. So I will use my broom to beat those DPP officials who pushed Taiwan to war, then ran fast for their lives at that critical moment. Here I also propose to all Taiwanese people, get your brooms ready. Let's beat the shit out of those DPP bastards. Thank you much. That will be all for today.